welcome back to She of Three Angels. This is Lori, and today I have for you a collab. I am doing a collab with Ninja Does Crafts, and the collab is all about using up your craft stuff. So I believe we were supposed to make a craft item, but what I really wanted to go into is show you guys what I do with my scraps. And I'm talking about scraps of sticker paper, I'm talking about scraps of paper, scraps of ribbon, just about anything that you're like too afraid to kind of throw away. And also maybe some leftover stickers that you have for a project and what I do with those. So first I want to go ahead and show you one of my favorite things to do with scrap leftover paper is I have a variety of punches that I like to use. And what I'll do is I will take that scrap paper and do some punches. I will punch out until there is like nothing left of that paper. These are some of my favorite punches that I do my scrap paper with, or I use up my scrap paper with. Of course, the big old heavy Martha Stewart ones. And I have these little banner ones, and there's a triangle one here that we can use for banners. I like using banners on my pocket letters and just about any kind of paper craft that I do. I have the love, and I also did get the hello. So what I will do is I will go through my little bag. I have a bag here I'm going to show you, and it's just a Ziploc bag, but it is loaded with scraps. Do you see how much scraps is in there? So as you can see, I've already started doing some die cutting. I think this was a die cut off of my Cricut, and it kind of cut it short. I know it's silly to save it, but I will use it and punch out maybe some little bows out of it. I don't know why I'm a hoarder of scraps. I like to be able to use everything that I have, but here's my bag. So this is my bag of paper scraps. I'll go through a project, and any leftover scraps I will go ahead and throw in here. And as you can see, there's St. Patty's Day, there's Christmas, Valentine's Day, there's some summer themed paper, solids, other colors. So what I'll do is I will just sit down like one night in front of the TV. I'll grab my bag of scraps and I will grab a handful of punches, like some of my favorite ones that I like to use. So one of my favorite things to do is these 1.5 inch scalloped paper punches. You're seeing the reflection from my ceiling fan. And then this is a 2 inch scalloped paper punch. What I will do is I have this stamp. It says, let me see if I can get it to focus in on for you guys. Homemade just for you by. And what I'll do is I will go through and I will stamp this out on a piece of paper. Let me just go ahead and show you. I'll grab one of these green ones right here. So now I know I'm punching on top of all this paper, so I've got to find a flat spot. So what I'll do is I'll go ahead and stamp that. It's not a very good stamp, but it will do because it is homemade. So what I'll do is I'll take that and I'll take my punch. I always do my punches upside down because I want to be able to measure that paper and where it's at. And I even it out by eyeballing it. Punch that. And this is my part where I write on. Then I'll take another piece of paper, maybe an accent piece of paper, like let's say this one, and I'll cut out the 2 inch and kind of get some of that green in there. Like I said, I try to use up as much of the paper as I can. Let me go down to the other end. That's not working right there. Got a curled edge. So I will go down to the end as far as I can, punch that out. And then what I'll do is I'll glue these together, and you have an accent piece, and you also have a homemade just for you tag to put in your craft stuff. So that's what I do with those. And I do use the Stays On Jet Black. I love this pad. I hope I never run out, and this is probably one of my most used stamps. So I'll go ahead and make a bunch of those. I'll either tape them together, or I will go ahead and glue them together. And my favorite glue to use on these, and it can be a sticky hot mess, but it is the best glue ever, and it is called Yes Paste. It's acid free, and you guys will be able to tell I use it quite a bit. So you can tell there's not, this is what it looks like. I've had this probably for a year and a half, maybe 2 years now, and it's still, but you stick your finger in there, and the best way that it works is using your finger, because your finger will warm up the glue while you're spreading it. And let me go ahead and glue this on for you guys while I have the glue on my finger. So the best way to use it, like I said, is the heat from your finger will kind of soften up the glue. Sorry, I got out of frame there. And it repositions. It's repositionable for a little while, but once it gets stuck on there, it's like stuck. It'll peel the other paper behind it. But that's how I make those little embellishments. I'm trying to go over here because I'm getting a shadow. I thought I eliminated that with my ring light, but apparently I didn't. So there's that. And the Yes glue, like I said, this Yes paste is awesome. And it's really easy to clean up. I just grab a baby wipe, wipe my finger, and it's gone. So, and it washes off of things really easy. I did buy it on Amazon. I will go ahead and add that Amazon link down in the description section below. So what I'll do is I'll go through also and see if any of these papers are big enough to make mini envelopes out of. And I have a bunch of mini envelopes already pre-made, so let me go ahead and show you those. So here are some of my mini envelopes that I have made with leftover scraps. As you can see, this is like a, I think they call this one a coin one, but it's this length. And I've got several different colors. So I'll add these to friend mail or pocket letters. I think these are the perfect size for those pockets on a pocket letter. So there's those. I made these ones a while back. They're a little bit bigger, and I did some embellishments on some of them. This is a thicker paper. This one's kind of cute for Valentine's Day. These ones aren't embellished yet, but they will be when they go out in friend mail. So I like to use those. And then I have some super small ones, which these ones I like using for when I'm putting like maybe a small piece of jewelry in here, like a charm for someone who might have a charm bracelet. These I actually cut out on my Cricut with this size paper. So I'm not sure what those dimensions are. I would have to look that up on my Cricut and let you guys know. So there were those, and there's a whole bunch of them here, little mini ones. So I'll just apply this to my mat and cut them out. Makes it kind of simple and easy. Oh, excuse me. Makes it easy. And the other thing that I have done is with certain scraps is I will go ahead and cut out like the 2 by, I think it's 2.5 by 3.5 for the inserts, and I'll actually share these in my pocket letters just so they can use them on something else. And I think if you cut them a certain length, they work great in your happy planner too. So I like to do that too. So there's those. And then after all of like the die cutting is done, I will go ahead and I made this box and I'll show you. It's color coordinated, but there are different pieces of stuff in here. And I do also like to emboss some of these papers before I do the cutouts. But there's like black, and there's a whole bunch of things. There's like even a horseshoe thing here from a St. Patrick's Day. And I made this box. I had this box left over from a package. I can't remember what package it was, but there's just a bunch of color-coded die cuts in here that I have used for my scraps. So these are all in here, and I will share these in pocket letters and stuff like that too. So if I don't have anything extra, they'll get this stuff from the box. I also like to cut out like the words, like on some of them they have those cards. And what I'll do is I'll just cut out like the strips and I'll save them and use them for a theme. There's this one. I'm sure some people have had this one. But I just cut them out and I'll save them, and those will go in little packages, which I plan on doing this week. And what's left in this bag, this mystery bag, this is sticker paper that I have either like printed out labels or address return labels. And this is the extra stuff on the sides that I didn't use or didn't get printed on. And what I'll do with these is for like when I make maybe a mistake in my happy planner or a mistake on an address label, I will use these and trim them and kind of like it's kind of like a whiteout for me, if that makes sense. So I do save any of my sticker scraps because sticker paper can get expensive, although I don't buy sticker paper, I buy address label paper. And that's what I use for my stickers, and it's the full sheet. Let me show you. So I will buy I think it's a package of 100, and it's just a full-size sticker sheet. It has the slit down the middle so you can peel it. And this is what I use to print out my own stickers on for happy planners, for any paper crafting that I'm doing or swap that I'm doing. If I want to print out stickers, this works perfect. And with a Cricut you can print and cut, and I do that quite a bit now because if I don't want to sit down and fussy cut, I can print and cut and have my Cricut do it for me. So those I get, I think there's 100 to a package for like under 12 bucks, and I thought that was pretty cheap, so I will go ahead and add that link down below also from Amazon. So when creating the envelopes with my extra scraps of paper, I did eventually buy the We Are Memory Keepers 123 punch board, and I love this board. Oh, these are my little notes for bows and rosettes, so I know what sizes to cut them out. But it does give you like the dimensions of your envelope that you need to cut. The paper, the card size is this. Your paper size is that. The punch guide kind of tells you where to do the punches here. But the mini envelopes and stuff, you can see that something for like a 2.5 by 3.5, the paper has to be 5.5 inches square. So I'll go ahead and make sure if any of these are that size, and then I'll go ahead and use my We Are Memories Keeper punch board and make a whole bunch of those mini envelopes. I also found these square snack bags at Walmart. These are perfect for like taking a handful of your die cuts, maybe some samples of washi, or also some sticker samples or whatever, but to make like a cute little grab bag out of. So what I'll do is after all of these are all punched out, I'll put like a little bag together, and then this will be ready to go when I do like a swap or something like that. All I have to do is grab one of these, stick it in the bag, and I'm good to go. So I'll try to pre-plan all this stuff. So then that way in the future it makes the swapping experience a little bit easier for me, because I start stressing out when it gets close to the ship off date. But that's me. So I just want to make sure that people get what I feel that they deserve, and usually I give quite a bit of myself, so that's why I plan on stuffing these. So then that leads me to like these pieces of, I don't know if you can see them. These are part of the We Are Memory Keepers, the photo album plastic sheets. And what I will do with these is I will eventually turn them into shaker pockets, and I have quite a few of them already done. I guess maybe I just haven't been that generous with sending them out, but I'll make these little shaker pockets out of these cards, and as you can see I already have a stamp on the back with my name, and there's a whole bunch of them. So I will make shaker pockets out of my leftover, plastic from the We Are Memory Keepers. So I do have a fuse tool, and it works great. I love it. Now that I figured out how to use it, I think that's the most difficult part. People are always leery of them, but I highly recommend them, and they definitely make life a lot easier. But there are other ways of doing it, by adding like a clear tape up at the top and folding it over. I think Nurse Tara has a video on how she does hers without a fuse tool. It's a great idea. I try to stay away from using glitter in them, because glitter will stick to the inside even if you do use your dryer sheet and try to kind of get that static cling out of there. Glitter is just not the way that I like to present those, because of the way that it sticks to the inside of the plastic. So I use these up, and that's how I do that. This one was actually not my fuse tool. I'd have to use the fuse tool here and along this side. I don't know if you guys can see that. It already has it fused from the manufacturer. And these ones are bigger, so I could make something a little bit bigger or a different shape. So I know it can be crazy kind of keeping scraps like this around, and a lot of people would just end up throwing it away. I can't tell you why on earth I save it. I just don't. I always think, oh, I can use that for this, but just like, you know how I have, this is a cutout from my Cricut, but there's like still plenty of space here, and I know that just sounds crazy, but I also have like these little stamp or little punches like this, and it pops out into a perfect little bow. So I'm telling you guys, I use just about every scrap, and I will seriously spend a night or two, because there's a lot of leftover scrap paper here, but I will go through and punch anywhere I can. If it looks like the punch will fit there, like this one, I will punch it, because I want to use up all that paper. I figure I spend my hard-earned money on this stuff, and I want to try to squeeze out as much of it as I can. The other thing that I like to do is I'll go ahead and cut this. So this I will throw away. This I'm okay with throwing away. This I'm not. And what I can do is I'll cut the hello part out. And I can probably get a couple more bows here, so I'll punch those out. I used to be crazy that I'd like really sit there and try to figure out how I could maximize the piece of paper, but I'm not that crazy anymore. And then I like to take these and maybe just cut like this out of it, and then you could do it as an accent piece on a flip book, and then you have something like this. If I wanted to add it to the back of this, I have myself a little flag. So that turns out kind of cute. And I do end up saving quite a bit of these scraps because you can layer them, and I like to layer things. I'm losing this little guy again. So if I, like, let's say I wanted to layer this and this, and then stick it behind here and do this, and then I can cut it over here, and then I have myself like a little embellishment. So I do save these because you can do stuff with this as well. I know to some people that may sound crazy, but it is a way to kind of like increase or work with your imagination and make your own embellishments instead of spending the money to buy them all the time. So this one is another piece of paper that I did on the Cricut. There was quite a bit left over here, and there was some space here that I will go ahead and use. So that's why all of these things go in that little bag, because eventually I'll get inspired by something, like watching someone's video. I do watch a lot of FilizLovesPaper videos because she does a lot of neat crafting things with hers. And she uses all of her crafting stuff inside her traveler's notebooks, and I have been introduced to traveler's notebooks. I'm just trying to figure out which one works for me, and that is what I do with my scrap paper. So another thing that I like to do with my leftover scrap paper is I have this little photo album thing, and it's full of die cuts that I have bought over the past year. And some of these are new, not even taken out of the package yet. A lot of them I order off of AliExpress. They're super, super affordable, like less than $2. Some are less than $1. And these ones I think were the most expensive ones that I've bought. This one was probably like $3.50, and this one was around the $3 range too. But I really wanted both of these. I thought they were really adorable. So, but I do have this folder full of die cuts. This one has chickens in it. You can't see it, but these are chickens, and everybody knows that I love chickens. We have backyard chickens, and so this one is just some gear die cuts. This is a heart. There's a coffee die cut. And I use the contact paper from the Dollar Tree to kind of stick these to my photo album thing here. But this contact paper also works great for when you're putting it through the die cutting machine. I actually don't have a die cutting machine. I have an embossing machine. And so it's really not meant for die cutting, but I make it work because I add layers, what most people would call shims, to make it work. So, but this contact paper works great. I cut it in strips, and it keeps the die cut right in the middle of the piece of paper that I want the design out of. So a lot of you may have seen these on AliExpress if you shop from there. Like I said, that's where I get most of mine at. These I got from Hobby Lobby. I think they were 30 or 40% off. I've used this one, the coffee cup one. Have not used the succulent one yet. There's another one. This one I bought off of a Facebook buy-sell group. It's the camera with a happy on it. That one I got off of the Facebook group, and that one too. This one's from AliExpress. I think this is from Tuesday Morning. I got it for $2.99. So what I'll do is I will use my scrap papers and die cut stuff too, not just punch. But I did want to show you a project that I just worked on. And this die cut right here was used to do the cutout on this summer themed card. So, and these are like leftover stickers that I had that I went ahead and put on the inside. But this is going out in a swap, but this was extra stuff that I've used because it was extras, cut-offs from other things. So there was that, just to kind of show you what I do with my extra stuff, or as this collab is, my use it up stuff. So there's die cuts in here, and that's what I do with some more of the scrap paper. So let's go on to what I do with extra ribbon. And I have this container from the Dollar Tree. I like it because it's nice and big and the lid fits nice and snug on it. But this is like scraps of ribbon that I just collect after projects and stuff. There's stuff here that I think it's not worth throwing away, so I save it. And what I will do with these is I will make mini ribbons out of them. I will use them as embellishments. Like this would be kind of cute behind here with another green, like that. So there is definitely a lot of things that you can use your extra ribbon for. Let me go ahead and show you why I have these two out, and this is how I make my ribbons. This is a mini ribbon. I almost call it a micro ribbon, and this is a smaller ribbon, but let me show you if I can remember how to do this now. It's been a long time. So let me think about it. I know this is a really long piece, but you go through here. So it's overlapping here. This is going to be your tail. Goes through the middle, right? That has to stay there. This comes through all the way. Nope, that's the wrong way. Let me figure it out. Oh, it goes over. So what you do is you go over. So I'm going to go up a little bit higher. You're going to go over this part right here. So it looks like that, right? Pull it through. Some of them are shorter, so you don't. And it looks like this. I always pull this one down and this one over. And then you tie it. And you have yourself a little mini bow. I'll show you guys again if you want to see it again. So here I have a little Hello Kitty bow. And I made that with a fork. A wooden fork. Let me see, what else do I have in here? Let's do this red one. It's a little bit shorter. So here's my fork. Laying the ribbon over, right? And I'm bringing it over the top and into the middle. Do you see that? It goes in the middle. This one is still staying here, so when you pull this one through, this is what you have. This one I pull down. This one comes up and over the middle, and then you tie it. And you have another mini bow. And usually what I do is, Monkey has a flat iron. I don't know why, she doesn't have curly hair, but she has a flat iron. And I'll flat iron these if they're all wrinkled like that, but then I just got another bow and I'll cut off all this excess. And if you don't like the way that turned out, it easily unties and you don't have a bow anymore. And then again, like I said, I'll use it for embellishments and add these behind the embellishments or on top with the paper. So I generally tend to save things that, I don't know, couple inches long. Something smaller like these I'll save because you can add them to the back of your embellishments. So this is probably the shortest that I will keep, and that may be 1.5 to 2 inches. So those are the shortest that I'll keep. There's another pink one. So like I said, I know it's crazy to keep all these, but I do. So as you can see, it turned into a small little mini bow. They usually turn out better. I'm not sure why it's not working for me today. Maybe just playing with it a little bit. But usually they're a lot cuter than that. And I'm sorry guys that they're not turning out that great. At least to my expectations, they're not turning out that great. Somebody might be okay with that, but I normally would not. So this is what I do with my leftover scraps of ribbon. Again, like I said, some people wouldn't go about saving it, but I think when you can make these little cute bows, this would be cute like on a 4th of July embellishment because, you know, it's a red bow. Somebody who likes Hello Kitty, or if it's pink, that's really cute too. But I don't use this fork in my kitchen, so it stays in my craft room, and I just stole this one from the kitchen. So then there's the idea of what to do with maybe leftover washi, or maybe just washi that you don't use so much. And I like to pre-make these little tabs, or I should say tags, sorry. And I will go ahead, and this one's made out of a card. And I like using the cards because then it doesn't stick so much. They actually are able to use the full product. But I'll go ahead and pre-make some of these. And instead of maybe just sending a whole roll to someone, which I do once in a while, send the whole roll. But some of these are super cute and I might want to share it with somebody else. Not that the other rolls aren't, don't get me wrong. But I'll go ahead and fill up a couple cards like this. And I do anywhere from 18 to 20 inches. I'm pretty generous with my washi. So that way they can do like maybe a whole planner spread, or do a whole pocket letter. But then what I'll do is I'll find like a coordinating color or something that goes with it. So then that way it kind of matches instead of sending random colors or colors that don't match. And I'll just fill these up. And you can tell some of these are like my leftover scrap papers. So I, you know, there's silver ones in here, there's green ones, there's purple, there's black. These ones are a little bit thicker, so they could take a little bit more washi. But then I'll just go ahead and pre-make a whole bunch of these and then add that to my bag. And I'll show you my little goodies bag at the end as soon as I get done showing you all the stuff that I do with the extras. So we'll just cut that one off there. And I try to cut them both on the same side. Load them on the same side and cut them on the same side, so that way it's not kind of weird. So there's that. Okay, you guys, so here is some like leftover stickers that I found that I would probably use on something, but I'm just going to go ahead and cut them up. And usually what I do is try to make them a nice little square piece and make sure that there's quite a few on like a strip. And then need be, if I have to, I'll take some off of other strips and put them on here. So then that way I can kind of consolidate these all down instead of cutting like one. I'll move them all around so they make a nice little strip of stickers.
I know that's probably crazy, but to me, sometimes it's all about the presentation. It's not just stuffing stuff in a bag. It's about being able to give the best part of you. And sometimes that's a little work, but I think you guys are all worth it. So I'll move these all around so then make a nice little square. So here's another one. So that gives me 3 little strips of stickers. to put in. The other two I'll probably save for myself and
put as decoration on something. So here's all the things just to kind of recap what I've done with, you know, leftover product or leftover stuff that I have. If you remember, I used the plastic for making shaker pockets. So here's my goodie bag. I'm going to stick that in the goodie bag and it fits perfect. Here's my 2 envelopes. Those are a little bit bigger. These are a little bit smaller. I'll stick those inside my bag. Here's some cutouts. And I did a nice little assortment of different colors, some with embossing, some without, so then that way those can go in the bag. I did make a couple of these and I left them blank to let the person I'm sending this goodie bag to, maybe they want to utilize them on something that they're making for their friends. Here's my stickers. Oop. My stickers. They'll go in the little goodie bag. My samples of washi. They will go in the goodie bag. And here are some of my bows. I know it's not red, white, and blue, but I thought these colors were pretty, so they can cut them and trim them any way they want. And these ones were tied. This one was sewn. It was a little bit bigger, so you can see the stitch mark there, but they can just flip it over and use this side. Some other things I've done with ribbon is I have made altered paper clips. So what I might do is just buckle this all up together and put the paper clips on the outside. Let me see. Let me get the air out. And then you can put the paper clips on the outside. Let's fold it over like that. So this little goodie bag will go out to a swap or in some friend mail, maybe an RAK to somebody. But this is how I use up all my scrap material. Like I said, I save ribbon, I've saved leftover stickers, and this is just cardstock, paper stock that I went ahead and punched out or did some cutting on my Cricut. So this is how I use up my scraps. So if you like this video, give me a thumbs up. Please go ahead and check out the other ladies in the collab. They will be listed down below in the description, along with the Amazon link to the Yes paste. And I think there was another link that I wanted to add in there. I'll have to go back through the video when editing and find out what that link is. But all the links will be down in the description box below. I hope you guys are having a great day, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!